Welcome back to A+ Gamer Plays Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. When we last left off, we got Kaeli as a party member, we lost Kaeli as a party member, we gained Tristram as a party member. We left off in the Sand Temple, which despite how it sounds, is not actually a dungeon, it's 2 rooms surrounded by rocks. Okay, so, we could go north to Bone Dungeon, but instead we're going to actually head west rather, and we're going to take on that battlefield. I don't remember what's in there, but could be good. As you can see, we do eventually want to head east to the Focus Tower, but we can't do that yet, so we're going to head over here. Okay, now one thing is you can change your active weapon with L or R, which is actually useful, and you'll see why in a bit. Plenty of cure potions, not so many heal potions, and crap, didn't mean to do that. Buttons are a bit tricky, because there's one button that takes you straight to the save screen, and there's one button that brings you to the menu, obviously. Before we start fighting fights, let's take a quick look at Tristram. I have the cure spell, as we remember, and let's see what he has. And he has life, same as Kaeli. That's actually going to be really useful coming up. And he has some pretty good equipment. Note his ninja stars are limited. I don't know whether he can actually run out, or whether something happens he can get more. I know you can get more in the Bone Dungeon, but there is a finite number of them at this point in the game, so be advised. Though I seem to remember hearing that, these frogs again. Why are the frogs in the desert? I seem to remember hearing that, why would you... You missed! And hey, why not be poisoned as well? So, I have heard that if Tristram runs out of ninja stars, then he gives you the option apparently to buy more at a half-decent rate. However, if this is wrong, he has no offensive techniques, no magic, he can't actually attack with items, so if that's not the case, then I would be down a party member. Since I have no interest in doing that, we're not going to be trying this. So probably the only battlefield I show all of, simply because it's only 10 fights. They're random enemies you fight in the area anyway. So, yeah. Boring. Yay, level up! What's probably been evident at this point in the video is, when it comes to these, I don't care. I just pretty much mash the attack button and get through it as fast as I can. I could use strategy, use the axe on the tree guy, let Tristram deal with the poison frogs, but that would involve caring. Even though it's not the most efficient way to kill the enemies, they're still going to die. I'm actually fairly over-leveled for what I should be at this part of the game, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm just more interested in getting them cleared out. So, now if I really did care, I could take manual control of Tristram, but I would have to care. See, there's dozens of these all across the world map, and you earn some of the best accessories by doing it, but making somebody fight 10 battles of random encounters, nothing interesting about them, isn't a great way to make a game. It's a great way to make a battle of attrition. But hey, this isn't the best Final Fantasy ever made, and we knew that going in. For the most part, it seems like this one is just the poison frogs and the trees. Mad plant, rather. Really? That's the best they could do to name that? A mad plant? Evil oak, or wicked willow. Come on, guys, be a little creative. Well, either way, it doesn't matter too much. And 5 more to go. Okay. You've probably noticed by now just how useful Tristram's ninja stars actually are. They do respectable damage, but they're also capable of poisoning and paralyzing enemies, which is pretty good. I don't think I've ever actually seen them poison or paralyze, but I usually don't pay that close of attention this early in the game. The downside, though, is they are limited. They have ammo. You'll notice it just in the lower right corner. If he runs out, as I mentioned earlier, then I'm not sure what happens. You could be in trouble, or the game might offer some way to get more. You can find more, and there is an option to buy more later, but that's in a town we can't go to yet. Now, it's worth noting that more than any other Final Fantasy game, status effects here are incredibly dangerous. Why? Well, because there's only 2 of you. Running into a group of enemies that can cast Petrify can wipe you out in 1 round if they cast in just the right way. So, be careful of that. Whoa! New enemy, what are you? You're a basilisk. Okay. Purple basilisk. Why not? You die easy enough, though. You're not too threatening. Okay. I think we run into more of those in the Bone Dungeon. But I'm not too worried. One more fight. Yay, let's take it down. And 3 toads. Sure thing. And very nice hit from Tristan. Not a bad one myself. And we're both poisoned. I guess we must be out of heal potions. Yay, the last one's done, and we get the charm! Yay! And the charm does what again? Well, actually, let's save first. Yeah, we'll save while we're poisoned. And the charm does... +1 defense. That's disappointing. No special effects. +1 defense. That was worth sitting through 10 battles. Oh, well, we'll get through it. We'll get the potion taken care of, and then I'll have to remember where we get the heal potions. There is a way to get them around here. You can't buy a lot of items in this game, but we can find them. So that was a cure potion up there. The one down below is a cure potion. There's a chest in Kaeli's house. I'll have to check that after. Now, obviously we had some, so there is some somewhere. So it's just a matter of finding them. And by and large, you can do this through the entire game. You can actually rack up 6 or more cure potions just by walking into Foresta. And you never lose... Okay, so that was cure potions. Okay. You can actually rack up 9 cure potions just by walking into Foresta. So do that 10 times, you have 99 cure potions. So we must have picked that heal up in the level 4, so we're going to have to go back there. I have a strange feeling it's actually up in the upper right, but... that was cure potion, okay. I have a strange feeling it's up in the upper right, but... well... that path, yeah, there's no safe way to go there, so... may as well get out of the way. We'll check that and see what we can get. Die. Die. Ooh, 1 damage. I'm going to die. No, please. You gave me a paper cut. Amusing side fact, I'm getting as much XP from the first enemies in the game as I did from sitting through that battlefield. Actually, slightly more. So we'll take out these guys. Not even a threat at all. And we get heal potions! Yay! Okay, so now we know we can find those. I don't know if there's an easier way to get them, though. Let's just take a look. I will say, I like the sound effect that it makes with the axe when it's going through trees. It makes a hearty thwack. Most of the weapons in this game actually have a very satisfying sound effect. The sword, for example, has a really ninja-style shing! The axe has that mighty thwack sound to it. There's a couple of other decent sound effects, but I don't want to spoil those until you actually see the items, so... we'll just say that the sound effects in the game are really good. Okay, so now we know we can get at least 6 heal potions by coming in here, but I like that one over in the corner. Mainly because it's easy and I can actually get it without killing any enemies. So I'm actually going to cut here and just make a couple of runs into the forest and stock up. So now that we have 21, we're ready to enter the Bone Dungeon. The reason we need them is because we don't have any other way to cure poison, and if we go into Bone Dungeon without them and we get poisoned, we might have to fight some enemies to get out, and we might not make it out. Okay, so I just want to step in here to see if the chest is gone. I think it is. And just to demonstrate one thing with this game I absolutely hate about its interior environments. You see how when we're walking in here, it doesn't show there's a door aside from that one little block missing. That's the door out, and there's a lot of places in the game that take advantage of that, and it's really unfair. It's hard to tell where the exit is. So this is the Bone Dungeon. Lots of sand, lots of bones. There's quicksand heading to the north. But as you can see, there's 2 paths of monsters, one to the right, one to the left. We have to fight them anyway, so it's better to do it at the start rather than the end. As you can see, there is shifting sand here. The idea is that you're not supposed to be able to get back up here. On the left, the programmers missed some of the shifting tiles, and it's actually possible to climb back up. But we're going to fight the enemies because it makes it easier on the way back out, even though we're already leveled to kill them. So we know that we can kill these basilisks fairly easily. Most of the enemies here aren't too tricky. We've encountered a lot of them between the, well, actually really at the one desert battlefield. And Tristram, ooh, landed a critical hit. And a level up, yay! So now we're actually matching level with him. One thing I will say about the game is this. As a rule, if you're playing through the game without really power leveling, you come in a couple of levels below your party member, and what they're trying to say is this is the level that you should be really to tackle this area. They don't level, but you do. So, generally speaking, you end up a couple of levels by the a couple levels above them by the time you leave a certain area. These guys are pushovers. I thought they'd be hard, you know, sandworms, but nope, they're quite easy. And we get some ninja stars. Okay, so given the amount of ninja stars we just got, I can only surmise that it's going to be fairly difficult to run out of them. So, yeah, we've seen all these guys before. So, like I was saying, the party member that's with you has their level generally set at what's acceptable for the area. If you're really far below that, you're kind of under-leveled. If you are too powerful, like if you're a couple levels over them, then you'll find everything is a joke. Like right now, we're just matching Tristram, and we can kill everything in one hit. There's nothing here that's even going to challenge us. That is right up until the boss, but we're going to talk more about him when we actually get there. And the poison frogs are, like I said, they're nothing to us right now. We can kill everything here in one hit, and so far most things do 1 damage or a couple of damage. It's nothing to worry about. And he does around 200 damage. I think I do a little bit more than that with my axe to them. He does, whoa, 378. Okay, I can't match that with my axe. Unless, well, he crits, so I guess if I crit, I'd do it too. 1 sandworm, oh yeah, that's a challenge. And, yeah, 99 experience. It's actually less experience than we were getting in the forest. So, don't ask me how this game's experience curve works. I've given up on trying to explain it. The first dungeon in the game is giving more than the first actual interior dungeon of the game. So, since there's not much to talk about the enemies, let's talk about the area design. The level design is fairly bland, and the programmers missed a lot of things with the actual dungeon itself. There's tiles that should be moving that don't move, like that path on the right that that path on the left that I showed you. There's a couple of areas where you clip behind the background, you clip behind the foreground in ways that you shouldn't or you wouldn't expect. There's sand that's moving in the wrong direction. There's sand that looks like it's moving, but is actually not. And I will say this, though. The music for this dungeon is great. It's reused a couple of times later on in the game, but it just kind of says to me, you know, perfect music for starting a quest. You want to explore. It's a good little march. Nice beat. You can't ask for more in a great dungeon theme. And to be perfectly honest, the game is full of them. The last dungeon in particular has some of the best final dungeon music I've heard in a game. It's one of the reasons why this game is so underrated, specifically because of the music. And sure, the storyline is underwhelming, the enemies are underwhelming, the system is simple, and the graphics are mediocre. But the music has a lot of heart to it. So, point in its favor. I think it's one of the things that endeared me to the game in the first place. So we're just going to clear up these last couple enemies here. And you're dead. Goodbye. Okay, so now I actually do about 120 to these guys, so Tristram is significantly dealing more damage than me. But by the time we're done, that won't be the case. So in here, now somewhere in the Bone Dungeon, I vaguely remember that there's a spot where we have something hidden. Now we're going to come back to that bone later, but there's something hidden in the wall where it doesn't look like there's a door, but there actually is. So we're going to keep an eye out for that. That's why I keep searching these walls. But I don't think it was in here. I know it leads to somewhere with water though. That's why I'm suspicious. And there's this little room down here that there's nothing down here, but it looks like there should be. So we're actually going to head back up. Aside from that, pretty plain dungeon. No, there's actually several areas of the game where they use it to your advantage that you can only see doors straight ahead of you. The door's sealed shut. Well, here goes. What? Watch this! Cool. Aren't these something? I'll sell you some cheap. How about 50 explosives for 30 gold pieces?
Sure, deal.
Sucker. Now, why do I say that I'm a sucker for buying them for 30 gold pieces? Well, if you refuse them, you actually are forced to buy them at 15 gold pieces. 15 is obviously less than 30, but you need them anyway, and it wasn't worth the down arrow press for the 15 gold pieces. That says a lot. But now we can bomb this area, and as you can see, there's a treasure chest containing the steel shield, yes. Now let's take a look at that compared to the one that we had to fight 10 battles for. +5 defense versus the +1 off the charm. Now, isn't that fair? We had to fight 10 boring random encounters just to win a +1 defense, but we just walk into the right area and we get a +5 defense. Well, that's life and that's Mystic Quest. So we're going to head back over here and head north. And we're going to head to... We're still on B1. But now we have some new enemies to face. This one here is called a rock. And it's a bird. All winged things are weak to Tristram's ninja stars, so keep that in mind. And no, it wasn't there either. And another new enemy that we call a skeleton. Duh. Once again, I am blown away by the sheer creative genius of these enemy designers. We have we have the mad plant, and we have the skeleton. What's next? Ghost? Alien? Martian? Okay, so the rocks are nothing big. I think they've got an attack that can petrify, but I'm not 100% sure. I haven't seen it yet. I could have sworn there was something in this dungeon that can petrify you, but I could be wrong. Okay, so we're going to beat up on some more birds. Again, the enemies are not that interesting because, well, hey, it's not my fault I wiped them all out in one hit. Now, as I was saying, one of the things I do like about the game is that when the enemies reach a certain damage point, their animations change. These guys cross their wings over each other, the toads puff up. It's a way of telling that you're dealing damage without having to know, oh yay, yellow level up. Without having to know exactly what their HP is. And it's something that the other entries in the Final Fantasy series, for some reason, decided they didn't want to do. And I actually kind of miss it. It shows, hey, I'm dealing damage to this thing. Especially with the bosses, where some of the boss fights really, really, really get difficult. It's nice to have some feedback that you're hurting them other than having to use the scan spell and see, okay, well, I've brought his HP down this far. The other thing is the HP meters, which I've always thought was one of the game's strongest features. It's colorful, it's creative, and it's a lot more interesting than just looking at a set of numbers. Obviously, I've played the other Final Fantasy games, and it's not that you can't read the numbers, but I don't know, just something about the HP meters stands out to me as saying, oh, this is bright and colorful and easy to read. Not as intimidating, I guess. And, oh hey, there's another behemoth? Oh no, a Gorgon, a palette swap. Well, we're gonna exact some revenge now. Haha, and, ooh, you didn't die in one hit. And you deal some half-decent damage. Let's get rid of you now. And I swing with my mighty axe, and you're gone. Yay! Now that's interesting now, because that's the first enemy we've run across in this dungeon that I haven't been able to kill in one hit. So obviously the enemies are leveling up. And as you can see, that skeleton in front there is blocked off. We actually need to bomb that. That's why we required the bombs for this dungeon, and why the game forces you to get them. So let's go ahead and go up there. And we'll switch to the bombs, we'll blow that apart. Actually, I think the area I was talking about, it's not down here, but I want to say there's something over here. No, there isn't. No. The area I'm talking about, actually, I think is up here. It doesn't look like there's anything here at first glance, but if you step over here, yeah. Now, you can actually step in the water, but there's nothing down here. This is kind of the closest this dungeon gets to a puzzle. You have to figure out that you can hop across the turtle shells and switch direction mid-jump. Not so much mid-jump, but you don't have to jump straight on the turtle shell. You can turn and say, oh, I want to jump to the right now. And that becomes useful later on. Not exactly the hardest puzzle in the world, but enough that I suppose if you were young, you might want to say, well, how do I get it? Okay. So, now that was actually that head is what I was talking about the sand that looks like it's moving but is not. If you stand on that sand, you don't move. But as you can see, the sand is very clearly shifting as though it was some kind of quicksand. I'm kind of curious why they would do that. There's no spot, to my knowledge, where that occurs, where there's shifting sand beneath one of those heads. So, why then would they do that? And if we step at it from above, you can actually see that the clipping is incorrect. We kind of fade in and out there. So we're going to kill another Gorgon. Just another Gorgon. Oh, you're nothing. You're nothing special. And he can kill him in one hit, so that's good to know. And we'll kill another skeleton. Bye-bye. Now that I'm a level above Tristram, we should be good for the boss, but we're going to save here. As I mentioned, the boss of this dungeon is incredibly difficult. Okay, now can I go around this one? No. You see how the entire area is shifting. It's not just one or two tiles. You can't fight it. The only reason that we can do it at the start was because they left out some of the shifting tiles, and just enough that you can get ahead and get over the sand. What are you now? Oh, a Minotaur zombie. Okay, now we could actually just cast life on him and he dies in one hit, just like the Minotaur. But, uh-oh, I'm confused. Okay, that's good. He acted before me and he healed me. Confusion is incredibly dangerous here because you generally have less HP than the enemies. So attacking a PC, attacking either yourself or another party member, can be enough to deal some serious damage. Now this is also a prime example of where the game uses a lot of palette swaps. Pretty much every boss that you fight comes back in at least one, if not 2 or 3 forms. Okay, 3 skeletons. This looks like a good group to demonstrate the bombs with. So we're going to shift to the bombs and see it. The bombs attack all 3, but the damage is divided. So, mediocre damage, 74. We can still kill all 3 in 2 rounds, but where it's limited ammunition, it's not so much worth it. Against one enemy, though, it does do slightly more damage than your axe, so we're going to be using it against the boss. We'll take care of this. Let's head up here. As you can see, we had to bomb its teeth. Oh, treasure chest over here. No, more of the same. Now we're going to set him to manual, because I want to get rid of that Gorgon first. Not Gorgon, Minotaur zombie, because I really don't want to be confused again. So we're going to set back to the axe, and take care of it, and take care of the skeleton, and we're done. And we did all that for Ninja Stars. Yay. Now, we're going to head up north here. Oh, hey, the sand in the tunnel is shifting too. I'm not being moved by it, but... And we found seeds. Seeds are very rare this early in the game. They restore your magic. They're basically ether. So we're going to attack these guys and take them out. Oh, no, you're going to get an attack in. They do have decent damage, but at the level we're at, it's not end-of-the-world damage. So, just a couple more enemies. Now, even though that sand appears to be shifting to the left, it'll actually carry you to the right. You do have to fight these enemies along this path in order to get through. It may as well be just one little narrow path you have to work your way through here. I'm not sure why they even bothered with the quicksand. Although it does make it faster on your way out. We're very near the see, it just carries it back to the left, even though it's shifting the right. And no, I can't even get out of it. I have to get carried back over there. So we are going to head up here, bomb this. Boom. And head north. And I think if I remember correctly, yeah, that's the way of the boss. But we're going to head up here first. And we're going to get a treasure to find the Quake spell. Yay! Not going to use Quake yet. I'm going to save that for the boss. As I mentioned, you have a limited number of casts, and the boss is weak to it. We're going to need it. And all the help we can get. So we're going to head north, bomb one last thing here. And we are good to go. Save. Save. And we will head north. We got plenty of items. So, all we have to do is hop across this, and we meet the boss. Yeah!
You'll never beat me! I have the power of the Crystal of Earth!
Make no mistake, Flamerus Rex is an incredibly powerful boss this early in the game. He has a wide variety of damaging attacks and over 2,000 HP. His Rip Earth is an enemy version of the Quake spell and targets 2 PCs at the same time. Sleep Powder does the obvious, and Chew Off is capable of doing over 100 damage, or most of your HP bar, in a single turn. Coming into this fight at least level 7 is imperative to winning. If your HP falls below half, heal immediately, because one turn can wipe you out. Although the boss is weak to Cure, I don't recommend this. You'll want your Cure spells for keeping up your HP. They heal more than potions. He can dodge the Cure spell, and if you run out, you're going to be in trouble. Instead, I recommend a conservative approach. Hit him with all your Quakes first, then follow up with your bombs until he dies. Your bombs deal around 200 HP damage to him per turn. Not as much as your Quake, but still not a bad option. When he lays on the ground, he's much more likely to use Rip Earth and Chew Off. Last but not least, keep your HP up, keep wailing on him, and you will win the fight. Okay, so Flamerus Rex is a very powerful enemy. You're going to want to open with the Quake spell. Use all those that you have first. He's going to use his Ninja Stars. And Rip Earth, I mean Rip Off, is basically my Quake spell that he's doing. Well, it's time to show off Quake, and heh, mine does more. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing again. He's got a lot of attacks we have to watch out for. We have to keep our HP up. Ooh, that Chew Off did a lot of damage. Okay, we're going to want to heal. The bosses are a great time for the AI to basically just be allowed to run amok, because unless there's something specific you want them doing, we're starting to weaken down. We're halfway there already. Unless there's something specific you want them doing, then they're great at keeping you healed, especially if you forget. That one's nasty. Okay, this is not going too badly so far. Let's heal this round. Don't want to get too low. You can press down to select both your people at the same time. And it does a lot more than potions. That's why I don't recommend using it. Oh, holy crap! Okay, we're going to heal again because I don't want to die. We're just going to heal me because Tristan's at full health already. Oh, thank you. Okay, so he's going to make sure that we live. See what I mean? And he's going to use his. Now, had we not been healing, we'd be dead this round. So we're going to heal back up to full health. And, we're out of Quakes. So we're going to go back and we're just going to attack. We're going to see how much the axe does. Okay, that's his, okay. As you can see, he does really good damage, but he's strong to the status effects. So we're going to hit him with the axe, see how much damage that does. Tristan's doing good. Tristan's a little low now. So we are going to switch the bombs, see how much they do. Yeah, that's it. Heal yourself. Ooh. Okay, so bombs definitely do more. So we'll stick to bombs for the rest of the fight. So we're... let's heal just to be on the safe side. One more round isn't going to make a difference, but if we don't heal and he uses a critical Rip Earth, then we're dead. Once he falls down, he's much more likely to use Rip Earth, so it becomes all that much more important to keep yourself alive. I think he just killed him. He did! That was a lot easier than I remembered, but of course we were over level. Huh? Look, the crystal!
Never mind that, get a load of this stuff.
That's a cool weapon, you get it later.
I'll keep this. Oh, here's what you wanted.
Well, now we have the elixir, and we find some bombs and some cure potions for all our troubles. And we can bomb the crystal. And we get the sand coin. That is, as you'll see later, a key item, literally.
Look, I've got to go. See you around, kid.
Whatever. So now we actually have to walk our way back through the dungeon on our own. Now this is why I said that if what I recommended was clearing out the dungeon your first time through, because now you don't have Tristram and his ninja stars to back you up. So having a clear path is kind of essential, especially if you didn't stock up well, and you're kind of weak from fighting Flamerus Rex. He was a lot easier than I remember, but again, I was over-leveled compared to what I should be for this part. Okay, so we can actually just run through there. And we're just going to make our way back out of the dungeon. Nothing special, nothing's going to happen. I'm going to cut that out. So our next stop is we're going to head right back to Forest. Okay. Now, one thing I love about this game is that you can actually see that you've saved part of the world, and the next part of the world that we're going to visit is now visible, Aquaria. And as you can see, they've got their own mess. But we're going to step into the level forest because there's one bit of detail about this game that I really like. As you can see, not only is the world map green, but they actually went through the trouble of drawing this area green and setting the backdrop to be green. Which... Wait a second, was it already green? Maybe it was already green to start with. No, I don't think it was. But you never have to come back here again, so it's just a nice extra little touch. And there's not many Final Fantasy games that do that, especially like, for example, Final Fantasy X. Once you've been through an area and saved it, there's not much point to revisiting it, and if you do, nothing's changed. So we are going to just talk to the people. Look, I'm a little girl again! So you are. But as you can see, the green's out back, and the music has changed.
Thanks for saving us and the trees.
Go save the crystals! Once again, how do you know these things? And we'll get the cure potions because, hey, we just saved the town, why not loot it? And do these people say anything different? I don't think so. No, you're as boring as ever. We'll loot your house. And no reason to talk to her, she's gonna say sleep in my bed. And the old man probably won't say anything different. The one that gave us the cure spell. He's still an old man, I guess, for some reason. I guess he was already old.
Kaeli can talk to the tree spirits.
That's useless. And as you can see, everything just looks healthier. And what's this kid have to say? I want to hear Mac's stories again! And now we'll deliver the elixir to Kaeli.
Hurry and give Kaeli the medicine!
Not before I loot her bedroom.
Greg, is it really you?
Here's the elixir.
Thank you. Now I can visit Spencer in Aquaria.
Why don't I go to Aquaria first and loot it? I mean, look around. Where is it?
It's through the Focus Tower and to the northeast.
And that's it for this episode of A+ Gamer Plays Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. This is a good time to stop. Next time we'll be heading to the northern, very familiar looking frozen land of Aquaria. Until then, this is A+ Gamer signing out.